Defense, stop getting walked wide. It's typically not your speed that's the issue, it's your gap. Your gap needs to start at the offensive zone blue line, not at your blue line. So, what is gap? Was coaching a 10U game earlier this year. Players, I was telling them, close that gap, close that gap. One of them came off the ice and said, Coach, what's gap? I was like, oh, gotta explain it. Gap is the distance between you as the defenseman and that forward, all right? Going down the ice, the gap can start a little bit bigger in the neutral zone. As we get closer to our defending blue line, our blue line here, that gap's got to get shorter and shorter and shorter and tighter. Now, let's head out to the floor and talk about good and bad gaps. All right, we're out on the floor now. Right now, we're set up in a situation. Coach Switz is at the blue line of the offensive zone. He's leaving, coming down on me as the defenseman. All right, I like that we're about 3 stick lengths away from each other. Coach Switz, hold that stick out. All right, so we're 3.5 stick lengths away from each other. This is a good gap. Also, defense, remember, the faster the forward is, the tighter the gap we actually play. So now, as we move down the ice, Coach Alex is gonna move up. We are now at the top of the circles of my defensive zone. My stick has to be equal to his stick, all right? So if he tries to cut back on me, my stick is in that lane. If he tries to make a pass on me, that stick is in that lane. All right, we keep our stick out in front, so we're tutting away that passing lane. Take away the middle of the ice, all right, with gap control. We want to take away the middle of the ice with that stick. So again, top of the circles, we're now stick to stick. So I'm cutting down passing lanes, I'm cutting down the cutback that he can do. Back to the whiteboard. Timing. How do we time this gap? Big mistakes that I see in youth hockey. The defenseman either leaves way too late or way too early. So that makes a gap that's way too big or way too tight. So, number one mistake. This defenseman waits at this blue line thinking they're gonna stop this forward. This forward gets a little bit of speed, and then they go, uh-oh, I gotta get back. Then they start going backwards. And like we showed you out on the floor, that gap then was way too tight. It's not three stick lengths here. It's like one, this forward beats you wide. You have to transition forward to try to catch them. They get back into the inside, and a shot on net, all right? Other mistake that I see, defenseman taking off way too early, forward on this side with the puck. This pass gets made by the defenseman to the forward in the breakout, and this D just starts backing up. And this D's all the way back here at the blue line, and this forward's just now leaving the zone. Way too big. Now, by the time you get back to the top of your circles, this forward's here, you have to stop or slow down and then go forward to attack. Easiest person to beat in a one-on-one situation is somebody skating straight at you. We can't slow down. We can't stop there. We got to judge this speed. So I'm going to draw one right down the middle. That's perfect. So forward's getting the puck. Forward's turning up ice. We see that he's coming down on us. We got to back up. We start backing up. At the same time he's coming down the ice. I'm backing up, but I'm going a little bit slower than the forward so that by the time I get here, again, my stick is equal to his stick. Defense, let's talk about setting that gap up now. Strong side defenseman, so puck's over on this side of the ice. Defenseman, how do we know whether we go in and we pinch or we back up? Easiest way, if you see their numbers, we attack. They haven't had a chance to look up ice. They haven't found their center yet. So if you're looking at their numbers, we close this gap as fast as possible. If you look up and you see the crest of their jersey, they've had time to face you, they can pass around you. Now it's time to back up, establish that correct gap. Weak side D, we're watching this far side winger. If they take off, we got to back up and establish that gap with them. If they stay tight, we can stay tight to them. But we're watching this forward here. If we're this weak side D, strong side D. Numbers go, crest, back up. Strong side defenseman. The worst thing you can possibly do is go halfway and stop. This is what we see by the defenseman that always gets burned. So if you see those numbers and you decide to go, you go. You commit 100% to it. If you decide to back up, we back up. There's no middle ground here. It's either go when we see the numbers or back up when we see the crest of the jersey. All right, we're back out on the floor. Coach Alex is my forward that I'm going against. When he gets this puck, we put him in the St. Louis Hockey Training jersey so you can see the crest on the front, numbers on the back. All right? First pass is going to be the pass behind him where I see the numbers as the defenseman. This is where I close the gap. So it looks like this. He gets that pass. I see the numbers. I'm on him. All right, I'm closing this gap before he has a chance to turn and see where his center is or see where the other winger is. All right, we want to close this gap. Now, second one, I'm back here. He gets that pass out front. Uh-oh, now he has a chance to see everything. I got to back up out of that. All right, I cannot go and close that gap because he can see and just pass around me or chip it off the boards. It's too easy of a play. Defense, if you see the crest, back up. If you see the numbers, attack. Now, players, how do we work on this in practice? All right, coaches called out a 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-2 type of drill. How do we apply what we just learned and practice it when we're doing other drills? Big thing here, tighten that gap. So when we're going backwards, don't give that forward so much room. Good judgment, like we talked about earlier. If you have to slow down going backwards or stop, it was too big of a gap. Tighten that gap up. Go a little bit lower than the cone that he puts out there for you to transition around. Tighten that gap up with the forwards, get up to speed, then regulate your speed so you get the right gap going across the blue line, red line, far blue line, top of the circles. Remember, at the top of the circles, we want our stick to line up with their stick. Use those little points going down the ice so that we have a good gap and we work on it in practice, even though the drill's not meant for it. Coaches, I've got 2 drills set up here on the whiteboard. 1, working on the skill of gap control. 2, applying it in a game situation in a 1-on-1. So, starting with the skill drill, it's on this half of the ice. And I do these as half ice drills because most of you have half ice practices. You can expand these to full ice if needed. Forward starts, there's 3 sets of cones. Forward always goes around the far cone. So here's 1, forward's going this way. At the same time, defense is tracking, up, transition backwards. Not letting that forward get past him. Backwards, backwards, backwards. Same time, forward goes around this cone. Defense is stepping out, tracking back up again. Closing that gap. Forward goes around this cone. Defense is up, backwards, back. And we line up back over on this side. All of our forward and D go. And then we do the same thing coming back. So we're working over and back, keeping that gap as we move through those sets of cones. Second one, forwards, skating up. As we're doing that, defense, we're tracking them. Our stick needs to be able to touch that forward at all times. So we got to stay close enough that my stick is in contact with that forward. Forward sweeps through. Coach pops a puck out. Forward picks it up. Again, defense is going right with them the whole time. Transition backwards, forward, out wide. Again, defense, we're working on that gap control. So when we get to the top of the circles, their stick blade is lined up with our stick blade so they can't cut back on us. All right, or if there was another forward in this drill, they can't make that pass. Make sure we're focusing on that gap control. It's key here in this portion of the drill, excuse me, that we stay close enough that we can touch them with our stick at all times. Thanks for watching St. Louis Hockey Training's deep dive into gap control, teaching defensemen how to judge that gap, keep a good gap going down the ice. If you made it this far, hit that like, share, and follow button for us. We'll see you next week.